All right, another Morning Blend guest on Action 3 News this morning. Kayla Thomas joins us now live. She has some tips for us on, I think, getting rid of all that snow that's on our walkways and driveways. Kayla.
I tell you what we're seeing out here right now, Dan. It's not a lot of snow anymore. This is by far the lightest we've seen, but the snow that is out here is so wet and so heavy. Ryan mentioned compressing and melting a couple minutes ago. That's what we're seeing. Every once in a while, a giant chunk of snow will kind of slide off the roof here. If you take a look back behind me, you can see the cars lined up in the parking lot, and a lot of these back windshields, the snow is actually just sliding right off the cars, and the snow that's sitting on these cars is very heavy and very wet. That's from when that snow is coming down really hard, more in that 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock hour. In fact, one of our crew members, Jake, just came out here because the weight of the snow pushed his back seat window down. So if you do have a car outside that is covered in snow, it might not be a bad idea to come out here and brush some of that off. Right now, with this lull in the snow, a lot of people are probably heading out to try and remove it. This snow is wet and this snow is heavy, and there's a lot of it from earlier this morning when it was coming down so hard. So with that in mind, the American Heart Association is sending out some important reminders when it comes to shoveling. They see an increase of heart attacks this kind of year when people are doing snow removal because of the exertion of the work of shoveling coupled with the colder temperatures. Both those things together can put a lot of pressure on your heart. So here's a couple things to keep in mind. Take frequent breaks. Even just walking in the snow where it's thicker can exert your heart a little bit more, and definitely shoveling it can do that. If you're going to shovel instead of snow blow, they actually recommend using a smaller shovel so that you're throwing smaller amounts, because this stuff is wet and this stuff is heavy. Also, don't do anything extra to exert your heart. You might not have heard this before. This was a new tip for me. But when you're going in or out of shoveling before or after, no big meals and no alcohol consumption, because those things can put extra pressure on your heart that work outside is doing. And then, of course, if you dress in layers, it allows air to circulate, insulate your body a little bit better. Keep your head covered, keep your gloves covered, layer those socks. And then one other thing, if you are out or if you're helping do extra work, or if maybe you do snow removal work, just be on the lookout for some of those signs of heart issues that may not be as major. If you're breaking out into a light sweat, if you're experiencing some nausea, some lightheadedness, or any discomfort in your chest or your upper body, anything that's a little bit off, slow down. Don't hesitate to call. If you need help from an emergency worker, they are out here today. So this time of year it does happen, and especially with the weight of all of this snow, it's going to take some work to remove it. So just take it easy. We've been telling you how everything's closed today for the most part, so there's no big rush. Do it in small chunks, and take care of yourself out there and look out for your neighbors as well. Deanne, we'll send it back into you.
All right, Kayla, great advice there this morning.